Hi, I'm Art Caplan. I'm at the Division of Medical Ethics at the NYU Grossman School of Medicine. Well, recently, some nurses in New York City went on strike for a few days. Two big hospitals here had walkouts. Um, Other things are taking place in the healthcare labor marketplace. Residents at the University of Pennsylvania Health System have decided to unionize. They had a vote and they're going in that direction. There have been labor walkouts in England throughout the National Health Service. Other unions are threatening nurses to go out in California and Arizona later this year. It's not the first time people have gone on strike in healthcare, but I think it's a growing phenomena. Many healthcare workers, doctors, nurses are starting to feel overworked, starting to feel understaffed, unhappy when, say, private equity takes over a rural hospital and begins to put in schedules or cut back on staffing, which the healthcare workforce thinks is dangerous to patients. There are some places that are insisting upon very restrictive ability to work. If you leave an institution and try to go somewhere else, these non-compete clauses are causing more and more anger as more and more hospitals, fueled by business ethics more than medical ethics, start to be very restrictive about a doctor, a nurse, a PT, whoever being able to work, within a 25-mile radius of a place that they decided to leave. And I happen to agree. These kinds of restrictive arrangements, I think, may be appropriate if you're making beer or widgets or some sort of corporate person who has insight into, let's say, car manufacturing secrets. But to try and restrict an overworked and understaffed healthcare workforce with restrictive covenants, that seems to me that could be triggering more and more labor disputes and strikes as well. We even see people saying they were offered training as a nurse or a doctor, continuing education training. Their institution picked up the cost, but if they say they want to leave, now they're expected to pay it back if they leave before their contract or arrangement runs out. Again, fueling tremendous anger on the part of many doctors, nurses, and healthcare workers, and I would say appropriately so. Sadly, this movement toward unionization is more and more being triggered by the replacement of professional ethics, medical ethics with business ethics. It's just that simple. The bottom line is starting to drive more and more how administrators, management at many places behave, the appearance of private equity, which is just there looking for profit, particularly in, say, rural hospitals, small clinics that they buy up. They're not people who come from backgrounds of medicine or nursing. They're people who come from backgrounds with MBAs and a business orientation that says make money and make it fast. And these hospitals, small, rural, maybe you can make some money quickly and then close them. So I'm not saying that unionization is wrong. I think more and more you can start to see the case for it. But unions have one powerful weapon, and that's withholding services, and that's strikes. And for many in healthcare, that's just a no-no. You cannot put patients at risk. You cannot put their lives at risk. You shouldn't be delaying necessary surgeries by withholding services, by going on strike or going on slowdowns. A lot of doctors, a lot of nurses will just say, that is the height of immorality. I cannot do that. Well, I think what we're going to start to see is more nuanced versions of withholding services. I could easily see people starting to say elective services are going to be delayed, diagnostic exams that don't require sort of rapid administration are going to be pushed back for a couple of days or maybe a week while labor activity involving strikes and withholding services go on. It's not going to be a world in healthcare of all or nothing strikes. That does put too many people at risk. You can't close the emergency room in the name of trying to achieve what may often be an appropriate goal in terms of better pay or better staffing or getting rid of non-compete clauses or whatever the labor dispute is. But you don't have to use a broad-based approach. You can be surgical and specific, and I think slow services in ways that are not going to put patients at risk or not at very much in the way of risk, but that can cause inconvenience, catch the attention of management, and force their hands as perhaps some of the more lucrative things that they offer and do, think plastic surgery for one, start to slow down because of labor anger and labor disputes. So I think the future is going to see more and more unionization, more and more calls for collective action. We may see strikes that some people view as completely wrong, entire walkouts of the workforce, but they may be coming. It may be important to be thinking about when I cross a picket line, if I worked in a vital area of healthcare, in order to make sure that no harm befalls patients. And I think we're going to see more nuanced versions of trying to slow or withhold some services in order to achieve goals that stand for professional ethics, not business ethics. I'm Art Caplan at the Division of Medical Ethics at NYU Grossman School of Medicine. Thank you for watching.